everybody. Woo! Bronco Nation. What's up?
That's a good one.
New intro.
New intro on that one.
We played a couple for you lately.
Yeah.
And we got some response on the country one.
Mixed reviews.
Mixed reviews.
Yeah.
People liked it. Mark didn't like it.
Mark thought it was...
I was not the only one. I thought it was a joke. I let my wife and kids listen to it. There was audible laughter, and they thought it was a joke.
They didn't like it at all?
Do you listen?
They thought
to
it was funny.
Do you listen to country music
Sure.
in your house?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they weren't like, oh, this is awesome. They were like,
They were
this is
like-
stupid, Dad. Stop being dumb.
Something in between.
This one brings the energy, Brandon.
This one brings the energy.
Headbang a little bit.
Woo! Yeah.
Get pumped.
All right.
Yeah. Hey, Bronco Nation, it's bye week. We don't have a game today.
Yeah.
That is why we are in this lovely area, St. George, Utah.
Totally the only reason that we're down
That's
here.
the only reason. We didn't have anything to do, and we're like, hey, we do so much coverage. This is our only break.
Yeah.
Let's go on vacation.
Yeah. BJ, Tuss, they couldn't make it.
We invited them. They couldn't make it. Yeah, but we're here. If you're watching this on YouTube, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. We appreciate it. We love the comments. Leave us what your thoughts are on the heavy metal version.
Yeah.
Bet you a lot of people, I got a bunch of different heavy metal options if you're interested, but
How many total versions did you do?
I think I said it's over 25.
25.
Yeah. It's over 25. Like, if you want to get crunk, I got a few options
Is that,
for
still,
you.
is that
Yeah.
still a word?
I got a few options. Like, I got a few real good options for you there. But, you know, what are you going to do? Yeah.
All right, we've obviously got some news to talk about. Came out this week earlier. We were formally invited to the Pac-12.
Were we invited? They invited us?
Yeah, we had to be invited.
Yep. Invited.
Seems such a weird party to be invited to. It's like nobody's there. And they're
Nobody's
like,
there.
Hey, guys, come to the party. It's 2 people. That's a hangout. That's
But
like
we're
not
those
a
two-
party. That's
Yeah.
Like if I was at a party with 10 people and then a hangout of 2 people, like, hey, come hang out with us. You guys want to come hang out?
We're the Pac-12, though. And it's like, well, there's 2, though.
I know. And then we look at our friends and be like, hey, guys,
Let's join
do you
them.
want to go over there?
We feel bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mark,
Yeah.
Pac-12.
Well, so we've got, 48 hours to, it broke, Thursday night late, right?
Late
Or was
Thursday
it
night.
Late? Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Early
No,
Thursday
Wednesday
morning.
night,
Yeah,
early Thursday. So a couple days now, and we've seen a lot of reaction stuff. Honestly, my very first reaction was meh.
Yeah, it's
I don't know. Like, that was
I
the
agree.
first reaction. The more I've thought about it, listened to some, other people's opinions, and I mean, ultimately, it's better than the best thing about it is 2 things, in my opinion. We dropped the bottom, the dead weight in football. We don't have to. We don't have
need to name names.
No, but there's that, and that's positive. Just as far as week in, week out, you're playing better teams, and you're not going to stadiums that are half or less empty. You know what I mean? Like, some of the teams that we're going to be leaving there's games that the team has to really get themselves up for.
Yeah.
So. I mean, there's that. And the other thing that's exciting, I guess, is now the Pac-12 is a Pac-6, a 6-pack, as people have been
Six-pack,
calling it.
okay.
Yep. And I think that basically it's like there's this element of the unknown, right? Like, we get to shape the future of this conference. What are the options out there? We're going to talk about that. Nothing amazing. But ultimately, it's better than staying in the Mountain West. It's going to be better financially. It's going to be better
Do we
competition.
know the deals? Do we know the
Yeah, we don't know how it hasn't come out as of this morning exactly how much Boise State is going to have to pay. It's going to go. They all go to litigation, right? There is a penalty, 17 to 20 million per school, so that times 4. Plus, there's like a poaching fee of like 43 million. So they're talking like
a one
to the
fee, not per
Pac-12.
school.
Yeah.
Okay.
so
So it's over 100 million for these 4 schools to move.
And do we know how much the Pac-12 had
That's
from the
250? I thought.
left
over
250,
200.
okay.
I don't. Just listening to some people, I don't think the Pac-12 is paying all of it. I think that Boise State is going to be responsible for paying paying part of ours.
But is
How much?
is some of that? Is it forfeiting future earnings?
So the Mountain West has frozen our assets as of.
Right. Well, could some of the payment be just not receiving future earnings, which is so much easier than paying?
That's what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what it is as of right now. So that'll be several million for the rest of this year, next year.
I could see, because if they had to pay out of pocket,
That's tough to come up
leaving.
with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course Anyway. So, anyways, I think that they. I don't know. What are your initial thoughts, Brandon?
For me, sorry, you're
Matt.
Brandon.
Matt.
I'm Matt.
Yeah.
You're Brandon. Go for it, Brandon.
Oh yeah, no. So we went to school in 05 here, and I was on the sidewalk walking to class, and Custra walked right by me, and I stopped him. And I said, "Hey, this is a true story."
This is former President Bob
Yeah,
Castro.
well, it was a smaller school, and I was, or still am, really annoying, and and I was like, hey, President Custra, hey, things are growing really great, really happy. Like, what do you think about, the future of Boise State and football? And he said, they're going to Pac-12, the Pac-10 at the time is going to expand, and we're really going to get into it. And so he's been floating that dream for Boise State football, and that's always the conference we've aligned with the best, right?
Geographically
speaking, I think even culturally in a lot of ways we would just align with them, just because the Northwest, a lot of the teams from the Northwest played, half the people from Idaho are from California.
Sure.
Big group there. And so the proximity to Arizona, at the time Utah, obviously. And so it made sense. I don't get it as much. It definitely is a hollow feeling, just because the teams that built the brand have all left.
Yeah.
Right? And so I guess I'm really curious to see, how much do we make in the Mountain West? I saw $2 to $4 million a team.
I think for TV alone, I think we're making 4 point something, and the other schools are making about 3.
So at what point? I mean, double, 10.
I think they have. Well, here's my thing: is you get the Big 12, right? And they've got 16 schools now, and they're making over 30. And you're like, not to say we're going to make anywhere near that, but it's are we not at least a third as valuable?
Yeah.
That's what I think that they should be in the 10 to 12 million.
Which is a huge
but it feels like we should be over 10, because again, the biggest key is that they're not having to pay for New Mexico versus Wyoming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I'd like to think they could get to 10.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a big deal. I mean, that helps us stay afloat, or at least tread water for a little bit. There's things that I like about it, scheduling wise. Somebody posted, "Hey, we don't have to go to Laramie."
Yeah.
In November or December
Air
the
Force?
moment.
What about playing Air Force?
Air Force was the worst.
Don't invite Air Force. Please don't invite Air Force.
And I guess we'll talk about what happens to the Mountain West teams left over. But some of those teams were just, we've always had them in the WAC, in the Mountain West. And every time we breach this discussion of, can we just drop those guys? Can we just drop them? This is so annoying.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, you can't do that. Can't ever do that.
Yeah.
This is the only way to do it.
Yeah, I guess so. And so the thing I'm most afraid of is that we end up doing it in the Pac-6.
Doing what?
Bringing them along?
The teams that we see being floated around, I don't like. They don't move the needle for me.
Teams.
The potential
Let's name
teams.
who are some of those teams.
A bunch, right? So, let's just, without ruling any of them out, right? USF, Memphis, Tulane. I mean, they said Cal and Stanford. Those are the two teams I think Those are the two teams for me that I would say, yeah, that make a ton of sense, right? I don't love Tulane. Memphis, yeah, I would do Memphis. I just don't know who, or UCF would be great too. USF would be great as well. But it doesn't really, everybody else doesn't really move the needle for me. I mean, Texas State?
Yeah, they're saying Texas State, North Texas, UTSA, to get into Texas for recruiting.
We're just trading out.
You're trading out, and it's not even regional at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, they keep saying Texas get into Texas for recruiting, and it's how valuable is Texas State and UTEP for recruiting? I mean, people say it, but
and do you want a USF that's going to take you all the way to Florida?
Oh, heck no. I don't think USF is real. I haven't heard much. I think that the home, of all the – no one from the Power Four is coming down. The only way that would happen, Cal,
no Stanford, no Cal.
No way.
Yeah.
I mean, multiple people are saying, that – well, that's not even on their list. The only way that would happen would be if the ACC totally falls apart, dissolves,
Could happen.
Of course, which probably happens, but the Big 12 is going to pick off what they want.
Correct.
So any sort of like remaining remnants, now the Big 12 didn't pick up Cal and Stanford the first time, so maybe they wouldn't the second time. Maybe that would happen. That's the only way.
It's wild that Stanford is struggling to find a home.
Yeah.
That's just wild to me.
For me, a couple questions are, the one thing I didn't love with the scheduling kind of, we didn't establish really any rivalries consistently.
True.
in
Yeah,
the
that's
Mountain
very
West,
true.
Right?
Yeah.
We'd play Nevada, we'd get that going a little bit, and then we wouldn't play them. We'd
Yeah,
get
2
Fresno
years on,
State.
2 years off.
We get Fresno State going, and then we drop them.
Yeah.
So what rivalries can we establish? Because those are fun, right?
I agree.
You look forward to that scheduling.
Yes.
And
hopefully we can. We got Oregon State, Washington State.
yeah,
We're playing them
aligned
this
very
year.
well. Yeah.
Can we get those rivalries started?
I
Because we
think
don't
you're
have
very
BYU
right.
anymore.
I think we could too. Like they're fairly easy drives, especially Pullman.
Yeah.
And even when they were in the Pac-12, I felt like they were peers. Like recruiting wise, they were peers.
They were.
Like size of school, I think they're a little bit bigger, but like we are very much and even the Colorado State Fresno, I think that group of 6 is very like they use the word like-minded, and I think they are in a lot of ways. So I mean, Colorado State not so much rivalry wise, but I think it's a good group. I think it's a good group.
The problem
to build from.
The problem that, to Matt's point, Fresno State, Colorado State, San Diego State, in football, the rivalry is tired. It's just been tired for Boise State. We just haven't been able to pick anything up, especially Fresno. That could have been a good rivalry.
Yeah.
So adding 2 more to the mix, hopefully, I think Oregon State especially, just because neighboring states like that, smaller town. I don't know. I think there could be a rivalry option for sure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's interesting. And state-based schools.
Yeah, we're all states, right?
All
It's the-
states.
yeah,
So if Stanford joins, they have to be Stanford State.
Yeah,
they do.
we will have to.
Okay.
Well, so another question I had too. So if we talked about ACC maybe falling apart or changing or whatever, and then you got the Big 12. Does this because going to the Pac-12, we don't have a power
Right.
title with our
Right.
conference. We're
Not
still,
according to the Pac-12, or no, was it the Washington State athletic director who said we're now the Power 5?
Yeah,
Yeah, that you
I don't
can't
think
just
that
say
makes
that.
it true.
Why are we just
They
saying
have
think
to
that makes it
vote.
true.
Well, that was like the AAC guy forever was calling it the Power 6.
Yeah,
It was like,
yeah.
Just because you say it enough doesn't like
But
change
does
anything.
because one of the options has been potentially being invited to the Big 12, right? I don't know how realistic that is, but it's like, hey, if you take like a BYU or other school, obviously we don't offer exactly what they do, but does this prevent that from potentially happening?
No.
Or is that door open down the road?
I think that if you look at it this way, any school of these 6 in the Pac-12 now would move up to get to any of the Power 4s. So
Yeah.
this wouldn't stop the Big 12 from inviting anyone. Obviously, Oregon State, Washington would probably go before us. So
Maybe.
I think maybe they didn't before. They didn't want them enough before. So, I don't think we're not just we can't just sit in the Mountain West. We just can't sit there and wait and hope something else happens.
We did for forever.
Well,
man.
I mean, we didn't have much options. We tried the
know.
Big East, but we had to go. I just think that I think you had to make this change. You got to make something happen because the Mountain West has just fallen so far behind. And this isn't going to be, but this is clearly going to be the 5th best conference,
Yes.
top to bottom,
Yes. Right.
clearly.
And if
And
you add
anyone
Memphis-
saying anything different, it's an East Coast bias, and they're totally wrong. There's no way that this can be considered the 5th best. And then I think financially, we'll see what happens, but it'll be clearly below the Power 4, but clearly above the other group of 5. So it's going to be in this weird in between.
What do we think about TV deals? I mean, what's out there with ESPN, like some of these West Coast games?
They might.
Yeah.
I think they might. I mean, I don't think they're
Do
openly.
they care? I mean, they have West Coast teams in the Big 10
They-
and the Big
they
12
do.
and the SEC and the whatever.
I'm sure it's going to be a conglomeration of maybe ESPN or Fox, probably one of
Peacock?
those two. Maybe
I hope not.
the CW. That's who
Yeah,
they.
that's an option.
CW's in a lot of homes, I guess. So I don't really care at this point. I think 5 years ago it was like, oh, you can't stream. I don't know if I still love the full streaming everything, but we all. I mean, what do you have to watch TV on at home?
A
I have
combination
Hulu
of
Live.
everything, dude. It's
Yeah.
not like
so
I
you're
have
gonna
just one
find
thing.
everything.
Yeah.
So I'm not so worried about that. I'm sure they'll just try and maximize their money. As far as schools we know they need to get 2 more before 2026, right?
That's a requirement.
It has to be to be recognized as a conference. In my dream scenario, Stanford and Cal are off the table. ACC doesn't implode yet, so we got to pick from what's out there.
Yeah.
I think it's Memphis, and it's probably UNLV.
When do we go over, by the way? When does this happen?
2026. So we
Okay.
have the rest of this year, and then next year still in the Mountain West.
Okay.
Because Memphis is, not only has their football program been good for several years now, they have they have a lot of boosters. Like FedEx is big over there. And so they're not just going to drop off. Whereas Tulane, I don't know much about Tulane. I know it's a good academic institution, but they've been nothing forever. And they had, 2 really good years. Then their coach leaves. How good are they? They're playing today. They're playing a Power 5 team today. But, I mean, do they have staying power? And UNLV is same point. They've been bad for 30 years. Barry Odom's there. They got another big win last night, right? So they're 3-0. They've won 2 Big 12 teams. They beat 2 Big 12 teams. But Barry Odom's going to leave after this year, almost guaranteed. Do they just drop back, or do they really fulfill their potential? I don't know. So, but what I like about UNLV is if you have UNLV, I think you got to put all your championships in Vegas. I think it's a great spot to play, go to a game, go to a tournament. And so if you can get UNLV, maybe plant your flag there a little bit more. But what else is, like you said, what else is out there? I'm not excited about any of the Texas schools. We've recruited Texas just fine. It's like if we had North Texas in our league, would we get more Ashton Genties? I don't know.
Maybe. I know it makes a difference when you have one game every other season in the state that the person's from. It helps recruiting.
You think
a little
that
bit.
helps?
But that was I guess traditional recruiting, and now they could just NIL a little bit here, NIL a little bit there. The parents can receive some money to come up to the games. I mean, there's a lot more freedom to do different things. So I don't know, and maybe they're just thinking, I just want to stay at Boise State or whatever Pac-12 school for a year and move up anyway. I don't know. I actually don't think the TV market's a big deal, as big of a deal as I think it's a talking point that everybody brings up. But if it was a big deal, San Diego State would be
UNLV would be
UNLV,
too.
but San Jose, right? I mean, any team in California has a big group of people, and so I don't know. I'm actually interested to talk about the Mountain West remaining teams. Can we just say?
Matt's got something else.
Oh yeah, what do you got?
Yeah,
your jacket, Brandon.
Yeah.
Dude, that's sweet.
Tell us about it.
Shout out to Dayton Robison. Robison.
Yeah.
Sharing jackets over here. Dude, I saw this on Instagram like we all did, and I was like, you're coming with me. That jacket
what does
is
Dayton have to do with it? You follow
Dude, he
Dayton?
posted. He looks a lot better than I do, but he posted, and I got to show you the back.
Dayton had a good tax year, man. That's not a cheap jacket either. I saw it, and I was like, I can't spend that on that jacket.
Okay. You need to. Doesn't matter how much it is.
Yeah,
I freaking love it, dude. This is my favorite logo of all time. There
we go.
This is my favorite logo.
Matt has BSU guy.
Yeah, Matt has one on his truck though, but this is like the helmets that have this logo. My favorite. I think the second would be like the BSU, like the
old school BSU script.
I think that's kind of cool.
What about the Broncos? Is that what you have on the back?
Just Broncos.
Script.
Yeah. I saw some guy that had a jacket from the 80s that had Broncos that was like full
original 80s vintage.
And I was like, I would buy that from you immediately. No, I love this. And our buddy Dave
Southern.
Yeah,
he's
like a rep.
You could have gotten a discount.
I didn't.
Dave.
I forgot. Sorry, Dave. My bad on that.
He's not happy.
My bad on that. Buy it, man. You know how amazing this jacket. It feels amazing.
If you are going to
look amazing,
look up Dave's code. Maybe
look up Dave's code because he can give you a little bit of a deal. So maybe that'll help you afford it.
It's a nice looking jacket.
Sweet. It is sweet.
It makes you look better.
Oh yeah,
and
which takes a lot. Which takes a significant amount. No, this is a sweet jacket.
Second thing, can I bring up?
Yeah.
What does this mean for basketball?
It sucks. That kind of sucks.
It's a net loss. Oregon State and Washington do not move the needle in basketball, in my opinion. Washington State, I guess Washington State's okay, but we lose New Mexico, we lose Logan, Utah State, we lose Reno, and we lose those three are the big ones, right?
Right.
Wyoming, whatever. Air Force, thank goodness. But no, those
is only a loss.
Those three are legit.
But we can still play them. We could still play them.
I know, but it's not the same.
Not the
Conference games are just they're. It's
I know,
not
but
the
you
same
know the
as
thing about
non-con.
conference games that started working against us is we would just beat up on each other and they wouldn't benefit us.
So it'll benefit us more now when it's an out of conference game.
Yeah, sure, why not? Well, if we don't play them, but all the panel would say, "Oh, you guys are just playing each other, beating up on each other," and so they would give us a 10, 11 seed, and so
That's why Sorry, I cut you off.
Not uncommon.
Yeah,
but
I know.
anyway.
I'm trying to do better. I'm trying to do better.
One of my favorite comments of the last video was, "Guy asked for a 20-second rant, got 5."
Got interrupted 3 seconds into it.
I do like New Mexico. I think they lost a few guys, and I'm not sure how long Patino stay there. I loved Mountain West basketball was amazing. It was incredible. I do think we could have. I think we brought over San Diego State, which is the biggest, which we've been dominating as of late. Colorado State was really good, and for a long time, and still is really good. And so, obviously, I was just about to say UNLV, but no, Fresno not that great. I don't know. We can start to be a good league, and that's fine, and we'll be a 2 or 3 big league. I think that'd be great. Maybe it would help our chances to get in if there was we didn't have to get 6 or 5, bids. And so, I don't know. And how good is Utah State going to be this year?
So the thing about Utah State, are you talking about basketball?
Basketball.
They're a program. It's like New Mexico. Different coaches, different players. They're good. Utah State's been good for 20 years. I mean, 18 out of 20 years. They've been good, solid. So, and same thing with New Mexico. Patino could leave. They're going to be solid. They have a solid fan base for basketball.
Nevada's good.
Nevada's been good. So it's a net negative in basketball.
Do you just give up?
Dude, think about Utah State. Yeah, so back to what you were saying.
The Mountain West. Where do you go if you're Nevada?
Dude, it's tough, man.
Do you bring Montana State up in Montana, or do you just join them? I mean, I know that. I know, but what do you do? That's a really difficult scenario.
I'm not dancing on their graves.
No.
Like, I feel bad. Can you imagine? Like, we've been left out so many times.
Totally.
But we've never had our league fall out from under us. We've just been left out of the invites. But literally, what is the Mountain West without those 4 schools? It is trash.
If you're Nevada, who do you hate the most? Everybody collectively, or Boise State, or San Diego State, or a specific team? I'm just wondering if you peg it on a specific team.
I read this morning there was a Wyoming AD, and what did he call it? The unfaithful 4 or something. And something like that. And they've got to be reeling. I don't know who's at fault. Those things like who instigated it. I mean, Washington State and Oregon State ultimately, I'm sure, just cobbled the group together and said, "Let's do this."
Well, there was hints, rumors of it for a while.
Yeah.
But if I'm Wyoming, if I'm going to be completely honest with myself, I wouldn't mind being in the Big Sky, playing regional teams for a lot of fun. Pageantry, passion, regional success. I think that would be great. You're just constantly the pressures of having to compete with NIL money. And finishing middle to bottom of the pack in some of these years, it's tough.
Yeah, well, and
just like Idaho.
Montana State, they're all pretty close. The regional. It would be interesting to talk to. I know when Idaho was dropping down, there was a lot of people. That's egg on your face. You're embarrassed, the first school to drop down, but now that it's been 5 years and they were in the playoffs last year, and they're not. They were in the Sun Belt. And they were horrible.
Who was in Idaho?
Idaho was.
Yeah.
I wonder if you honestly asked him, how do you feel? Are you happy here? I think a lot of people would say yes. I mean, they have meaningful games. They beat Wyoming last week.
So Wyoming's maybe
I don't know.
Maybe we should be division.
The ones that really you feel for a little bit is Nevada, but I say, Utah State as well. And I actually wouldn't hate. I don't know.
What?
If we had to go back, let's say they try and get Memphis, Tulane, whoever, and it's not going to work, and you got to bring 2 more in from the Mountain West. You have to bring 2 more. Who would it be? It would be UNLV for sure. Mm-hmm. I would say Utah State. It's a nice drive. I've driven to there.
Yeah. Okay. Utah school.
They're good, great basketball, and then football is kind of up and down, but.
So no San
I don't know.
State.
No. And not Wyoming, and definitely not Air Force. I think Air Force is going to bolt. They had flirted with the AAC.
They're just going to do
They had flirted with the AAC a few years back because they have Navy and Army now.
Yeah.
Which would be a horrible conference to play in if you weren't a military academy. Play those 3 teams every year. Oh my gosh!
Can I ask, what's the deal with Colorado State? Why are they
so
valued?
attractive?
Yeah,
They have a cool football stadium.
Yeah.
Right?
is it just money?
I don't
Do
know.
they just somehow have money?
I don't know why. They're like the number 1 revenue team in the Mountain West.
Why?
Like by a lot.
That makes
and where's
no
their
sense.
money coming from? Because they don't have sellouts every game.
Revenue as far as like
Are they the-
money
like they're-
generated from tickets?
I don't know where their money
Who
comes
has
from.
are they the Maverick Stadium? This is
No.
built by-
No,
or is
that's
that
Utah State.
Whose is?
Canvas. It's like Canvas Stadium.
Okay.
It's like brand new. It's like
Yeah.
3 or 5 years old maybe.
Yeah.
On campus.
I just
so they have
remember
a great stadium.
they
but
had that coach get bought out to go to Florida, and it was a $7 million buyout. And I just feel like they
helps.
invested that in Bitcoin or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like they have money that we have no
Litecoin.
idea. Yeah, I mean Jay Norvell
Where does their money come from? That
gets paid like $2 million.
Dayton, yeah.
Dayton,
They pay
get
their
on it,
coaches
dude.
more.
Dayton, get on it.
No, their revenue is higher. I don't get it either. I don't know.
It makes no sense to me. They don't have a lot of success in football.
No.
almost
if you
at
know,
all.
let us
No.
know in the comments.
Please.
Where does Colorado State's money come from?
Can I?
Yeah.
Should we talk about it now or later? Somebody got after us about
boy.
dogging on UNLV a couple weeks ago.
Raw dogging.
Was it
we were
UNLV girl? Was it Rebel girl or Rebel girl on
I don't
Twitter?
know,
You what I'm
but
talking
they got
about?
after us, and to their credit, they were right.
What did they say?
Well, they said the only person they lost was their quarterback, and that I'm an idiot for saying they were going to be bad.
Well, you're not an idiot.
wrong.
They've been bad for
They're wrong.
38
They weren't wrong.
years.
But to their credit,
So, they're good.
doing well right now. Like, what's going on with that? I think that's
I love
interesting.
it. I don't know what it is, but I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. I've always loved
Good for them.
other Mountain West, other teams in our conference to finally freaking step up and do something.
Yeah.
And they're, they
beat
have.
Kansas.
And I will say they've
Sorry,
done
BJ.
They've done a great job with their scheduling, man. The last couple years, and it's exciting to go play
Scheduling.
Washington. Yeah, it's fun. We'll talk about that. And it's fun to go play Oregon, but we've played 2 top 5 teams in the last 2 years. They've scheduled Power 4 teams that are very winnable.
Yeah.
And I think we have to think about that. Like, they beat Houston, who's doesn't look great, and they beat Kansas, who
But a good
last
name.
year were good. But that's a little bit of a blip, right? They're 1-2 right now. They're not great, obviously. So they scheduled these Power 4 games that are very winnable. And but on the national landscape, it's like, they're 2-0 against the Power 5.
Yeah.
They don't care who it is. And so that's going to help them, and ultimately it's going to help us if we
Why don't we
win this
schedule
league.
Vanderbilt?
Why not?
Come on.
Well,
I
the
think that's a
Iowa
winnable game.
States, there's a ton of schools like that. The Kansas States, Kansas State's doing really well right now.
Yeah.
The hard part with scheduling is you don't know that Oregon's going to be a top
don't.
5 team or Washington's going to be a top 5 team when you book it.
Yeah.
But maybe having some more money will allow us to not have to cancel games for money.
Hey, Mark, let's talk about. Can we talk about the Jeremiah Dickey aspect of this?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
And maybe some of the schedule
Yeah.
changes that have been announced. First question, Jeremiah Dickey, we know that his name was in the running, or at least mentioned for the Houston job. Was he even offered? We don't know that.
We don't know.
And I don't know that they'd make it public if he was offered.
I don't think they would.
But he stuck around. He's here.
Yep.
Did he stay because he knew? First off, how long did he know about this? It sounds like months,
This
weeks?
is a big.
No.
This is a big thing.
So
Isn't it?
he was. I was listening to this
It's a
on
big
my way down. So he was asked that. What he said was he did not stay here because of this. He didn't know this was. That's what he said.
He knew. I mean, this is not something you just start.
So it was. There were informal conversations several weeks ago, but it picked up steam in like the last week.
if you're going
Like
to commit to
very-
be paying $40 million, that doesn't take a day to clear. Like if we have to pay
Dude,
X
these
amount of
things-
money to leave, and it's financially significant, it's not like you could just say from Friday we'll have an answer on Monday.
who approves that?
I don't know. At
Well,
least maybe the school board,
State
maybe
Board of
the
Education.
I mean, and you're gonna
No?
have to.
I don't think they had State Board of Education has not met on
Yeah.
this.
Well,
I
at
think
least
that these
at
things-
least you have to go through the departments and say, okay, if we didn't get this, can we make budget? Can we do this? Can we do that?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying what they said. Now, what happened behind the scenes that they're not saying, I don't know. But they said there were very, very informal conversations going back several weeks.
Right.
And then when the negotiations with the Pac-12 and the Mountain West didn't happen, like when the agreement didn't happen by September 1st, after that is when this started.
So really, it probably sounds like their public answer to that maybe different than their private reality.
Probably. And then to your point, Jeremiah Dickey said no, he didn't stay because of this, or he didn't know that. But I don't know. Hard to know. I don't know if it makes it. I mean, how big of a difference does it really make? I don't know.
Do we view Jeremiah Dickey as the AD that got us to the Pac-12? Like he's obviously done really great things for us. But does he carry that banner and we look at him and say, dude, you got us there?
That is something he could put on his resume.
Yeah.
Absolutely he can, and he will.
But I just wonder, I mean, he could be in the Hall of Fame if he gets us into, if this turns out to be a Power 5, or if he gets us in the Power 4, he's the next Hall of Fame guy.
Yeah.
Over Genty or over Kellen Moore.
Do we have a Dickey building? Like we have the Blameyer complex?
I'd be fine with that.
He'd have to stay a little longer.
Yeah.
I would be fine. If he gets us in the Power 4, rename the field.
Yeah.
Put a picture of him on the field.
Slick back hair?
Yeah, slick back hair. Do one of each, a version of each. The combed hair when he started, and then the slick back hair on the other end zone.
Yeah.
What do you want?
Dickey through the years.
Yeah.
Dude, I heard on a podcast he had like earrings in. Is this true? Yeah, like he was like a wilder version of Dickey.
Wait, at the.
I don't want to spread rumors, but I recall hearing that. Like he
had earrings during a podcast?
No. Like in school. Like he had like.
We need to get a
his
picture
hair,
of that.
like he was a little bit wilder, and then
I can see
we need to get a picture
came
of that.
around. Yeah.
So
well, if he comes on the pod, which we'll see.
Sorry.
Moss keeps digging on him for scheduling.
Okay. Before we get into that, I want to read a tweet that he put out yesterday in relation to this whole thing and the blue, because we're celebrating, 38 years ago that the first blue turf was installed.
38?
Right? 38.
That's a number that you
celebrate.
Well,
38th anniversary.
I don't know. Let me just, so his retweet of that says, with yesterday's announcement of the Pac-12, with yesterday's announcement and the posts saying to change the blue, I didn't see any of those posts, but apparently some people were posting that we need to change the blue.
Why?
Please hear me. Please hear me. Hell will freeze over before we ever change who we are. Devil little emoji thing. Not on our watch. Not ever. We bleed blue.
Yeah. Good for him,
Love
man.
it.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
GFY.
Love it.
Yeah.
What does that mean? GFY.
Go F yourself.
Yeah.
I love that. And then that's the obvious thing. But yeah, dude, the blue is who we are.
Who's saying to change it?
I don't know.
That's a stupid thing. That's a bot. That's a Russian bot.
Yeah, it was probably a Russian bot.
That's a Russian bot.
Ukrainian.
But so I was prepared before this Pac-12 invite. I was prepared to come on and express my displeasure with the South Dakota, and I'm still not happy about it. But maybe those types of things.
When is that game? When does that start?
It's coming up. We have them at home in like 2 years.
Well, let's say this. I'm just thinking out loud. We go over in 2026. We have, let's say 8 teams, I guess. We have 7 games.
Yeah.
We need to schedule 5 more, so we have a lot more openings on the schedule to book. Maybe at Kansas, maybe at Iowa State, maybe at anybody.
You just need these guys to have openings, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that goes into it.
And so maybe he's got the 5-year window.
Yeah, so a couple things. As I was listening to these things on the drive down, he did say he was rethinking his FCS scheduling. In one of the interviews.
What was it before?
Well, he wants 1 a year. So he kind of made it sound like he's going to pump the brakes on the FCS scheduling.
Is that because the coaches wanted that?
I don't know.
Does it mean
there wasn't a good follow-up question to it? Like, does that mean you're like, no one asked him the follow-up question with it? But my biggest issue is I don't actually mind playing an FCS team a year. In fact, I really wish we would schedule that week 1 instead of all these on the road. Like our next 3 years, we're on the road week 1, like 6 years in a row. It's crazy, but
Idaho doesn't sound like it's going to happen.
Yeah,
I listened to that interview with Jason Eck on Idaho's.
Oh, really? Talk. I didn't hear that. What did he
say?
Those
talks are dead.
Really?
Yeah, it's like something that they would want to do, and he's like, yeah, from the Boise State side.
I just don't understand, and I guess that's my question. South Dakota doesn't excite me. Portland State, at least it's regional, doesn't excite me at all. At all.
Any school with a Dakota in the name? I guess North Dakota State.
Yeah,
right?
then those are the ones you don't want to schedule
they'll
because
get you.
they might
High
get
risk,
you.
low
but
reward.
I know I've seen both sides on social media, so we don't need to spend a ton of time. But I am very much in favor of scheduling Idaho in Boise every few years and Idaho State every once in a while. I know there's people that hate that, and we shouldn't throw them a bone. It's not about us helping, in my opinion. It's not about us helping Idaho and giving them some charity game. It's about fans like us three that grew up watching Boise State, Idaho, and wanting to see that. I loved that. I mean, they were beating our ass for several years, right, when we were growing up.
12 years in a row.
But I would love to see. I just would like to see it. And I have a lot of people I know that went to Idaho. I think it would be a fun game. I think it would be a fun situation. Would they beat us 1 out of every 10 times? Maybe.
Oh,
but I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that.
I
think we should schedule that game. I don't understand why the talks are dead at Boise State. I don't understand.
It's interesting. It
I'm
almost
getting in the sun here.
Yeah, do you need to move over?
Yeah, I think so.
It's interesting because it's almost like there's holdouts, loyal soldiers from the Custra era. Because Custra hated those guys so much.
Yeah.
And they were at the time in our same conference in the same division. And so maybe there's just enough people that Dickey's like, hey, should we reach out? Nope. No. But I don't know. I don't understand the sentiment because Coyle, Apsey, and Dickey. I mean, that's 3
they
removed.
are like not being allowed.
That's 3 removed.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. I think we should be scheduling in basketball. I think we should be scheduling in most sports. We just had the girls soccer team hosted Idaho.
There you
We
go.
beat 'em.
We
beat 'em.
We play them in
The
golf.
ice is thawing.
Do we play them in golf? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we play them in other sports. I would love to. I don't know. I just
The dam is breaking.
I don't get it. And I have no issues with Idaho too. Like I really don't. I know some people really like. I mean, I don't
a lot of
love
that
them, but
is
I
old.
don't.
It's died down.
It's died
Yeah.
down big time. It's like I act like if someone gets a scholarship to Idaho I'm like awesome, dude. That's great.
Yeah.
like I don't have an issue
don't
with
think
when
the
we
Idaho.
were
DAVs?
kids, the
No, there was
hatred
hate.
strong.
But that was fun.
It was fun.
And maybe if we played more, there would
Losing
be
sucks.
hatred. And that's fun. I don't
Yeah.
care, but
that's football, and I think that's the thing that we've lost with all these changes is the rivalries. The like.
who do we hate right now? Who do we
I don't
hate?
know.
Boise State.
They had Boise State Hate Week
They did.
officially.
They did.
It was like a thing.
But who do we? We don't hate.
We don't hate anybody. I want to hate somebody.
Yeah.
Well,
Not saying it would be Idaho.
Well, we don't play them.
We don't play them anymore. That's what I'm saying.
I think one of the problems with rivalries is it was for Boise State, we just had to keep running the table. And so the threat of losing to anybody sucks so bad. We're like, we just have to stop.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I just and it wouldn't even be a rivalry. But it would be fun. It would be fun to play them, and I don't get it.
Certainly there'd be
get it.
some game week festivities in Boise.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
And it would be so I know everyone's like, oh, we don't need them to sell tickets. We're going to get 6 sellouts. Here's the reality of that situation, though. Seriously. As of right now, I think we're like 91% full for Portland State. So it's not, first of all, it's not a sellout. It's not a sellout. And second of all, it probably will get to be a seller close. But you know how many tickets they give out? Like, not for free, but like there's discounts to this group and that group and whatever. If you got Boise State and Idaho, you can sell that ticket for not $150, but a high dollar amount. As high as you'd sell for a BYU game.
Do we need to
and it would sell out. So there's a big difference. It's different. There'll be plenty of people in the stadium for Portland State, but a Boise State-Idaho State game would be a sellout at premium prices.
Would you travel to Moscow for
What?
if
To
we
watch
played?
the game?
I don't
I'm not
think
saying we would go up
I don't
there.
think we should go up there.
Yeah. If we did, would you go?
No.
I
wouldn't
I wouldn't go. Why would I go?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It might be fun. I wouldn't take my kids or my wife. I mean, there's some places I don't know.
Well, what was I going to say? Oh, don't make us go back to last year and you dogging on the fans for your attendance. Okay?
I'm not.
Dude, that's
I'm just
I
saying.
think we're going to sell a lot
I'm
of.
just saying there was a
Did I-
hint of it.
No,
No,
last
I'm
year
just
we had a lot
saying.
of attendance. Our attendance was good last year.
Yeah, but last year you were like, we're not going to get 16. We're not going to go over 20. We're not going to go over 26.
Oh,
And you
okay.
kept
And
doing
it
that.
kept
We were like,
surprising
get the out of here,
yeah,
dude.
no,
You're
it
just-
kept surprising me. No, this year's attendance is going to be great. I think there are over 20,000 season tickets.
How many are left?
There was a tweet yesterday that said 100 season tickets were left, which is interesting why you
pretty
even
sweet.
cap that. But
And I think the students are doing a lot better overall on average. Just
Mark,
the
how do you
student.
feel about that?
You
I
don't
know
want
you've had displeasure.
no,
with
they leave. And that's not different than a lot of fan bases, but they leave at halftime. It's like a 10-7 game or 17-20, and it's like they're gone. Half of them are gone. I've never understood that. I'm
No,
not
I
gonna-
think
no
I think-
rivalries. They don't care.
There might be some of that. I don't know. No, tennis is going to be good this year. And let's get back to the team, or maybe not. I don't know, but the team's out. I'm excited about the season.
Yeah.
I mean, we should win. I mean, we're going to beat Portland State next week. We're not going to talk again until after that game, right?
Correct.
Right. And then we got Washington State. That's going to be a big-time game. At home. We win that game, we're ranked. When was the last time we were ranked, man? It was pre-Andy Avalos.
Right.
Dude, that Andy Avalos, 10 years from now, we're going to look back at, like, the
What was worse, Avalos or Apsey?
Ooh. I think
Avalos was shorter. He did his damage in 3 years.
I think
Apsey was longer.
If Apsey was better, I honestly think we could have been in the Big 12 by now.
Yeah.
Whereas if Avalos was better, I'm not sure it changes.
Yeah. So Avalos.
So
So
they were
Apsey hurt our
both bad.
program.
Were they ever together?
No,
they weren't.
Dickey
They
hired.
weren't.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that combo?
Would have been a tough combo. That would have been a tough combo.
Talk about
Well, I
Wyoming.
mean, it feels like Apsey hurt our program and
It did.
Avalos hurt our team for a while,
Yeah.
But, the team stayed together. The team stayed. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, to your point, I do. So what do you want to see for Portland State? Do you have anything you care about seeing? I do. I have some.
Malachi,
Go ahead.
obviously, Brandon.
Go
So
ahead.
I wouldn't mind if Genty got 200 all-purpose yards on 10 carries. That'd be sweet for me. And then
out by
I think it'll
halftime.
be his lowest output.
or
I
like
think
middle third quarter.
What's over under 6 carries? I honestly don't know if he
6
gets more than
carries?
6. He's going to score for on
Over.
the first 3 of them.
Over, and that's a hot take.
Hot take. Mark, there's a shower.
There's an
behind
outdoor
you.
shower right, and there's kind of a colder
We're gonna
pool
be
right there.
back here in a week so I can do the
No, I was just
shower.
gonna give you a taste of what it is.
Yeah, it's probably more than 6.
No,
It's probably over. I didn't
Come
say
on,
this.
yes, you said
you
over
pulled me in.
under
I
6.
said something. It was a little premature. You wrote me in. What is this?
over under 6. I'm taking the over. Mark on the hot take.
I didn't say
on the
the
hot
under.
punishment. Cold punishment on the hot take.
That was a little premature to say 6. I don't think he gets double digits though. I don't think he gets double digits. I don't think he gets double digit carries. Why
Touches?
would you?
You think
Touches?
You think Breezy's back?
I think Breezy's back.
Sire
It's
and
been 2
Breezy?
weeks, yeah, and I think they go heavy with those guys. I would love to see Malachi. I know that there's been a lot of conversation.
He's
but
been playing every game, right, Brandon?
you have not.
I may have to dig a
He
dip into
probably
that.
played
Dude,
this week. On the bye week, he still played. I think.
Yeah,
He's
maybe.
actually.
He got some time.
I actually started following him on Instagram. He is back home right now. Went to a high school game. So I think I
In
get to go home for the
California.
weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
But I would like. I just think we talked
He
about.
seems
last-
disengaged. I'm just gonna say it, dude.
How do you know?
I
Really?
don't know. I don't know.
How do you know?
I don't know. I just
He's aloof.
I think he's just a quieter
that's fine.
personality.
He's definitely quieter.
okay.
We don't know if
He's finding his way,
disengaged.
Brandon. Come on.
We don't know that.
You're rooting for this guy.
I'm not. I want him to play
I know.
every game. Okay.
And you're dogging on
Don't.
him.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, we'll see.
I think-
everybody's saying, I know Prater was saying that he wants to see Malachi play. This is the perfect opportunity, right? We have some momentum on offense. Madison's kind of been learning this.
Madsen.
Get him in the freaking cold
Madison
tub.
was a running back.
Yeah.
Alexander
Who I loved.
Madison.
Who I love, by the way.
Okay. He's not Madsen.
Madsen. Why can't I say that?
I don't
dude?
know.
Well, my buddy's here, and I keep calling him my son.
Yeah.
What?
You called him Quinn.
I called him
several
Quinn like
times.
5 times. Koontz. Just the
Speaking
Q and
of
the K.
Koontz, is he going to listen? We gave Koontz the invite.
Yeah.
Come out here.
Where's he at?
He's a loyal listener. He still
He's a
thought we were in the big sky,
He's
but
a local urologist.
if you need a vasectomy, you know
Well,
who
what's
to
nice
call.
is he's like, we're in the Pac-12. We got USC, UCLA. It's like,
He's like, this is great.
This is everybody.
Colorado, baby. Let's
Yeah.
do this.
Coach Prime
where
on the
were we?
blue.
Prime on the blue. A question. Kind of little off topic.
It's the perfect game for Malachi.
Okay. Well, I'm not going back to the game. I want to go to Mark's driving. How do you feel about
Yeah,
Mark?
not great. Didn't feel great about it. Last night,
Dude, we were on
Last
T-Bone
night.
Alley, man. Come on.
Mark's got the really nice new truck, paid for basically by the income he makes off Shirts and Skin podcast.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sponsorship.
100%.
They hooked you up.
That pays.
Which dealership do we need to pimp?
We need. We still need to talk
Which one
about
did you get
the-
that? Where'd you get that from?
Peterson.
Peterson,
man.
yeah.
I love Peterson.
Yeah, big dude.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark almost
T-boned somebody.
ended the Shirts and Skin podcast. it
would have
dead
gone
in its
on.
tracks.
Those
We were all
three
in a,
knuckleheads would have.
We would have been right in front of the alpaca farm, just in a
mangle.
heap of metal, twisted metal.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Okay, so anything on Portland State?
I hope it's a fun game. I hope it's games like we used to have when Kellen Moore was there and starters.
would be
Get him
cool.
out. Get him out early. Get him out early.
Oh, here's what I want to talk about. Tubner.
Tubes.
That
We got robbed.
Screw them, man.
Yeah, man. That was a big deal.
That was a
because
big
when
deal.
you look at third down conversions when he was in the game,
Yeah.
Better?
their
No,
percentage was
yeah.
low. He goes out, they
had
start
like
converting.
3 in a row.
Yeah.
Or 2. It was. So if you haven't heard, there's probably some people. Is our lighting going to be
Oh,
really
we're
bad
good.
on that?
We're good.
Okay.
Kuntz. Kuntz hasn't heard.
I guarantee Coons is
Someone
not
text
heard.
Kuntz. Represent yourself, Kuntz. We're dogging on him, and he's not here.
So
Can't defend
Tubner
himself.
gets tossed out for the targeting call. They appeal
Junk.
it to the NCAA,
Junk call.
and
Junk call.
they come back this week and say it was not targeting, so he doesn't have to sit out the first half of the next game.
Gee, thanks. You know what that reminds me of? Political advertising. They're
Oh,
like, you
afterwards.
said this, and then 2 months later, nah, he didn't say it.
Yeah, that's Harry
Sorry.
Reid, man. Harry Reid, man.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Or, no, I didn't say that.
Yeah, no, that
that's
sucks
stupid.
for Tubner.
It's-
Honestly,
Well, he
going
had
back
200 family members at the game. He's
I
from
know,
Oregon.
that
200 family members
sucks.
got kicked out, and he shouldn't have been
was it in
kicked
the
out.
second half that happened?
Yes, because he was
You know
suspended.
who
for this one.
who should have to say sorry? Dylan Gabriel.
Oh, the
Get
soccer
out here and
flop.
say
Flop.
sorry,
The
dude.
soccer
It
flop.
bugs me.
I even tagged him on that. He didn't respond.
Oh, he didn't respond to you?
Interesting.
What?
Go believe. I was surprised too.
M Moss
That's
_10.
wild.
I was surprised too.
No, I'm not like so. I know when opponents are playing us and there's a glance targeting. I'm gonna cheer for the refs to not call it
Yeah.
because it's such an impact.
Yeah,
then.
and
Yeah,
you have
it's
to put yourself
ridiculous.
in their shoes, right? And you'd think that as Boise State fans, if it was Madsen, not Madison sliding,
Are we talking Madison?
Madsen, that we would
running
be
back,
like,
Madsen.
dude, get him out. That's cheap,
Yeah.
right? Would we have said that? And I think this is a good point that you bring up. We should be like, hey, this happened to Tubner.
Yeah.
It ended up not being targeted.
Yeah, that sucks though. It did. I don't know if it played. Was he on special teams?
Probably.
Is he a special teamer?
I'm sure he is.
I don't know. It wouldn't
Probably.
surprise me.
You know,
Genty's on
like-
special teams.
I mean, on the return
On the
team,
return
he probably is. And there was.
His
Ugh.
talent is tackling.
Yeah, I mean, I would be surprised if he wasn't on the special teams return units, right?
That was a big deal.
That was a big deal, and then they come back and say it wasn't, and it's just so stupid that you have.
Do we need to take a pause, Matt, and adjust? We had a camera adjustment
We had to switch.
and
We had
a potty break and
we
a
had some weird lighting.
yeah.
Are we good now?
We're good now, man.
There's
We're
like
good.
a fly on that thing.
Oh,
there it goes.
I was looking at that. Like,
Yeah.
Sorry for the
That's
video.
what happens when you're in nature.
You know?
Yeah, sorry for the video.
Sure.
So Tubes got a raw deal.
He did get a raw deal, and it could have impacted the game. It definitely
It
could
did
have,
impact
but
the game.
Yeah. So I mean, you can't go back. Sucks, but-
Dude, and I know we've
Me.
talked about Tubner before, and we've said, like, he's a walk-on. Is this the best we can have? But give credit to Tubner for
Yep.
being a guy who's worked through whatever. He's made a name for himself, and he's done
Yeah.
really well.
I think
And-
he had a lot of negative pub in the Washington game,
Yes.
but he was a great player last year.
But Washington
thought-
was the number 2 team at the end
Yeah.
of the season, and
Yeah.
so he
But
probably
it was hard to
got-
know.
Yeah, and he caught more flack than he deserved,
Yeah.
probably.
It's hard to know.
So
But,
good job, Tubes.
Yeah, way to go for him. Awesome. Any expectation? I mean, are we doing a score prediction for the game?
56-7. I don't know.
56. So we can look at the scoreboard.
Tim Plow will check the scoreboard.
Can we finally look at the scoreboard? Are we doing a score prediction?
Sure. It should be a blowout. I mean, it should be a blowout. They've been blown out by everyone they've played. I like
Portland
that one.
State has.
Yeah. Think we get up into the 60s, or do we just
Ooh,
go?
I don't know. I don't
mean,
think
that's
that
tough to
Kurt,
do these
I don't think that
days.
Cutter cares that much.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll go.
Because we got that high against Georgia Southern, right? We got
54?
56.
Yeah, we got 56, but we had to. We had to keep
We
scoring.
had to. That's the thing.
I'm gonna go 58, 17.
46, 14. 17's a good one, actually. I
Yeah.
like 17.
All right.
Give him a field.
So-
17. Yeah, give him a field goal.
So
'cause there's always a field goal.
does Malachi Nelson, does he
Play? Yes.
Does he play?
Well,
Yes.
he's gonna play.
Does he throw a touchdown pass?
Yes.
You're gonna let him
I
throw
think it's
it.
I think it's a rollout throw. I think it's a short touchdown pass. I don't think
Yeah.
it's actually, I take that back. It's like
Give him a deep shot.
Prince Strawn over the, down the sideline.
Post route. No, let's do post.
I don't care. It's a deep play.
Okay.
Because I think there's going to be some big scores. There should be.
You think
Should
we're
be.
going to be
we have
throwing
some really good wide receivers.
if we're up big? I don't think they put him in until we're up big.
I think
I
not
don't-
in the second quarter.
I don't think they're going to put him in until you would normally put in.
I
your,
would think
your
second.
backup.
I could see with the wide receiving core that we have, they all want the ball. I could see them making even if it's a 8-yard pass, them making a move and getting for like a 25 or a 30-yard run.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that's certainly within the
I
realm
just
of
don't know
possibility.
if we're going to throw it a lot. I don't think that he's going to get a lot of opportunities to throw it, but I don't know. If it's
sorry.
3rd and long, then you're going to throw it and see what he can do. But I think that they're going to play this. I don't know. We obviously don't know. We have no inside information on this one. But I don't think that they are using this as some fans want them to do as like some sort of tryout for Malachi. I think they're using him. He's the 2nd string. We're going to be up big. They're going to put him in. He's going to run the ball to the 3rd, 4th, 5th string running backs. And then on 3rd and long, they're going to let him throw it. So that's my guess. We'll see what happens, though.
Yeah, you're probably right. I don't want to struggle. I don't want this to be a struggle game.
No, and we've had some of those, historically. The UC Martins,
UT Martins.
UT Martin. There's been a few of those FCS games that you're like, it's
just
like
too
38-17 or something. It's just like, let's get out there. I think
care
that this
of
team is
business.
good enough to do that, though, and Portland State is not good. But we'll see.
No injury updates on carry on.
Yeah, they're
Randolph's gonna be out a while.
yeah, I don't think we've heard. Yeah, nothing official, but I'm quite positive they're both out for quite a while.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
And then there was no other injury. They don't do any injury reporting during the week.
Yeah, the only Tubner was, but yeah, I didn't see anyone else go out in the Oregon game. There's always something that comes up, but
Well, go home, eat some LA food, right?
Huh?
For all the
Not
players.
you.
Oh,
Go to
yeah.
your house.
On the bye
Yep.
week.
Yeah.
Yep.
Go
You
get
know,
s-
get rest, all that stuff.
yeah.
Come
rest
back,
up.
ready to go on Sunday, I'm sure. So, any big games this week at all that we're looking at?
I like some of those regional rivalries. You got the Colorado State game. By the
Oregon.
time people listen to this,
Oregon
it's already
State.
done probably. But Oregon State, Washington State, and now all of a sudden we're rooting for our 6-pack
Pac-12.
brethren, right? So Colorado State, Oregon State,
Yeah.
Washington State. I know Oregon continuing to win would be good for us long term for this season. So there's that, but I don't like Oregon. I've talked about that, and I would
Really?
love to see Oregon State.
How do-
I don't think they will. I think Washington State has a shot at Washington.
Yeah. Okay.
What do we want
That would
for
be good
like
for us.
the NIUs of the college
NIU.
football
We
world?
want them to
Northern
lose.
Illinois. Yeah.
Love to see them beat Notre Dame. Now we want them to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if
Are
they
they-
win
they're in the
out, they're
MAC.
in, and they should be. Their conference is crap, but you go on the road and beat Notre Dame. There's nothing that we can do the rest of this year that would be better than that. I don't think, unless Notre Dame really flops and UNLV is 11-1 with one loss to us. But
Could that be us next year beating Notre Dame on the road?
sure,
Could.
Could be us.
why not?
Yeah.
So
Could be.
weird. It's the time is so weird. Like you think about next year, like historically before NIL and transfer, it was like, oh man, next year we'll have Zaire Gaines. Like we'll have all these
hurts.
guys that'll be one more year, and now it's one
You don't know.
year by year.
You got to think we'll at least have
No idea.
Matson.
Madsen or Malachi, not both. I'm almost guarantee you we
Well,
won't
we
have
won't
both.
need both. If one's playing at the
Correct.
we won't.
What are thoughts on there's the idea thrown out there that players will get 5 years of eligibility. Have you heard that before?
Yeah. Well, so
Like no red shirt.
Yeah.
I read that article.
Yeah.
So what it wasn't.
It's like a proposed
Yeah, but the way I understood it, maybe I'm wrong, but basically they were going to take all the other sports and let them do what football is doing, where you can play a certain percentage of that
a
5th year.
redshirt
It's not just like 5 years straight.
Okay.
So
Because
it's,
basketball is stupid. They get if you're in for
One
1 minute,
play,
one
yeah.
play, that's your year.
Yeah.
And in football, you can play 4 games in the regular season plus they made that ruling this year, plus conference championship, plus playoff
bowl.
/ bowls. So you could get 6-7 games
Yeah.
and still have use that as a
yeah.
red shirt. So go ahead.
No, it does suck when you're when you have to burn your red shirt in the past
Yeah.
when it was one game. I mean, it would kind of ruin somebody's NFL development. Like, if they were really good and they got in on the 7th, 8th game of their freshman year, they burned their red shirt. That sucks. So, and the basketball thing does not make sense at all. So, yeah, I mean, be more consistent there. I think it's looking like it's a slow slide to 5 years.
Yeah.
Right? Because if they just continue to go down this path, they're like, all right, give him 8 games. Just give him the whole season.
Yeah.
Right? Whatever.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
Yep.
46-17.
46-17 for Brandon.
That's my
Any
pick.
hot takes?
Well,
We
we
need to
already
get out of
did
the way.
the
Well,
Genty.
6.
Take it.
Six
What-
cherries.
What about we got
They have that in the set.
you
like
pulled
second
that
position.
you stuck that on me
All right.
real quick.
Oh yeah, I'll stick it to
Real
you.
quick. When are we gonna cash some receipts over here?
What are you talking about?
Malachi?
Malachi,
Dude, get in the shower, Brandon.
get in the shower.
I'll get in the shower.
yeah,
Get in the
dude,
shower.
go.
It's right there.
Do I have to do it with my? Not with this on.
Not with the jacket.
No.
Save the jacket.
Can I get my swimsuit on?
Yeah.
We'll fill some air. Get Kuntz in here. Get
All right,
Kuntz
get
out
Kuntz.
here. You go change. Get in the cold shower. Tell him we need him. So
Are we gonna keep going or are we gonna cut it? Me and Mark. All
we're gonna
right.
keep going. We'll get Kuntz. Try and get him. So I think that our demographic, I'm assuming if Kuntz gets out here, that our popularity between the 25 and 45-year-old female is going to skyrocket. Nick Kuntz,
You have
He's
a
a
man
good-looking
crush
man.
on your friend Nick?
he's a good-looking guy. He was in, what was he in? Was he in some magazine?
Oh yeah, he got
we
some
gotta ask him about
local
that.
award for being.
No, it wasn't local. It was like a Red Book or something. It was like, yeah, man. It was
Betty Crocker.
Yeah, it was
like,
Betty. Yeah, Betty Crocker. It was like Christmas
Home
edition.
and Garden
Yeah,
or whatever.
Home and Garden. That was it. No, he's a smart
Yeah,
guy.
he won an award for being good looking, and I think his
Whatever.
wife probably was. He
She
married then?
nominated
Yeah,
him.
she nominated, paid probably
because he was
rigged it.
he was like in medical school at the time.
Yeah,
The guy's the full package, man. He's a surgeon, right? Urologist, but we count it.
he hits a good drive on the
He's
golf
great
course.
drive. Can't do a darn thing other than that.
Putting is
No, if he could. Dude, we're introing you. What's he doing? All right. He's a little bashful.
dude.
All right.
Oh boy.
Yeah. He's not coming?
he went running.
Oh, he went on a
He
run.
went running.
See, that's what urologists do on vacations. They go on runs. All right. Dude, you're looking good, man. Swole.
I don't know about that.
Huh?
It's
got
that's
a lot more than me.
inflammation.
You got a good
That's
tan going.
inflammation.
You
Sweet.
got a good tan going.
Shirts and skins.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
Skins, team skins, baby.
All right.
So do I have to get in the pool or just the shower?
Shower.
What are we filming this with? That's got. We're on it. Okay.
Shower.
What? This is because I said Malachi would play.
Yeah.
Every game.
Every game. You're 0 for 2. It's not even close yet.
Well, I'm over, right?
You're 0 for.
Just like Malachi.
Let's go. Here, you guys go over there. I'll talk. All right. We haven't turned this on yet. And there's no warm up. You turn it on and whatever comes out, that's what you got. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Not that bad. All right. Now that's warm. All right. Darn it. That's not a cold plunge, but he's going to get the man some soap. All right. So we are getting out of here, right?
Yeah.
So next
Hey,
week.
you got to run the
Oh, you
outro
gotta-
music.
Outro. Come on.
You
He
need a
doesn't have a-
towel.
Doesn't have a towel.
Well, we didn't think about that,
Dang
did we, guys? Okay? You were so.
Good time. St. George, cool place. If you haven't had a chance, great golf. We're down there with six buddies and having a good weekend. High school, the other 3 high school friends.
We all
right?
turned 40.
All turned
recently.
40 this year, so decided to get down here and do something fun. So let's do it.
Hey, if you're on YouTube, hit the like button, subscribe, leave us a comment. Brandon, hit us with the outro. Here we go. It's coming.
A new outro. It's quite anticlimactic.
The build up for this. People are watching. This is like
Shirts and
nursery
skins,
rhyme.
we're here to play. Talking sports in a fun way. Brandon, Mark, and Matt are cool. Tell your friends it's the #1 rule. and cheer. Hot takes, big smiles, we're happy here. Boise State pride, let's clap along. Go Broncos, join in the song. So sit right down, it's time to begin. Shirts and skins, come on, jump right in.